So, so, so your stance is just completely right.
Yeah, I'd say agnostic.
Yeah. Have you seen any tweets that like put in that tier of high outer?
Not to my knowledge. No, I have not.
So, doesn't do we agree living tribunal is higher?
No, I'm not sure about that.
Okay. Why don't you think the living tribunal is higher? Or why would you be
Okay, let me
unsure of it?
reiterate for clarity. I'm agnostic to him being high outer.
So we know that VSW has him as 1A, right? Like
I
we
actually didn't
both
know
agree
that, but okay.
that.
That
Okay.
VSPW like says that he's 1A. Is that what we're agreeing to?
Yeah. Yeah. Would you?
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
So then VSBW, right? Which they have people always monitor the site. They constantly have people
They have
updating
what?
the calcs. They have people monitoring the site, updating calcs, and
Can you
giving
repeat that word, please?
in
I don't know what that means.
like always checking the website. Like
Okay.
they have
What were
constantly
you trying to
updating
say?
it. That VW is a trustworthy source.
I'm sorry, you repeat
Specifically,
yourself?
the
I got
manner
kind of
of
distracted by like whatever you're trying to say earlier.
just the living tribunal being stated as 1A in the inverse would be
In what sense would it be reliable?
like it's accurate. Like we accept based on what they say here that yes, he is at least Outerversal.
I don't know if the tiering system like saying something like versus battles wiki saying something is let's say like scaled somewhere doesn't necessarily mean like that is exactly the case.
Why?
Let me see if I can find it. There's like a scan and they fixed it, but the point that it ever happened just kind of shows like there is some like it's not like perfect
I mean,
of
if
like a
they fix
blatantly
their
like
mistake,
a 6D feat. Well, yeah, but then how do we know that there's already mistakes there that haven't been fixed yet?
we would just look at the consistency. We would say that they have listed these other feats that are this tier, and this would offer the consistency to them being at this tier, right? Just because there was once a 60 feat does not mean all of the feats are 60, right? Maybe, or there is always the possibility that your interpretation of the scan is incorrect, right? And then with
Okay,
further
maybe
knowledge,
you could
they
perhaps
just
say that. I
okay,
can actually just show you.
yeah,
Let me copy the
more
image.
than happy to see this.
So it literally just says, oh yeah, no, I gotta do this in scans. Hold on. This is different verse, by the way, but if that doesn't bother you. Literally says, it just says
Hmm.
far higher. Into large island level plus is a complete and absolute defense that can block anything from physical and metaphysical phenomena up to the 6th dimension. Which is interesting that it just
Okay,
wouldn't say like complex multiversal.
we're not discussing whether or not these other categories are correct. We're discussing whether or not the living tribunal is correct. You've already agreed that they would be like
Well,
that they do monitor
well,
this
no,
site.
there's some relevance to that though, because to
What?
ascertain whether or not it is correct, we need to know if that the people making the judgment are capable of making rational and correct judgments.
I think the people monitoring the Marvel section is also monitoring this section.
No, I never said that. I just think like if you have,
Then why would your position be correct?
well, at this point it's equal interpretation, but if you let me like actually finish speaking, that'd be nice.
Then finish.
Okay, damn, yeah, maybe fucking lose track of my own argument. It's more as shows like what standard they have for like the people that they're letting in, right? That we can't necessarily like ascertain uh the reliability of them, of the,
So
like if one team is more like reliable than the other.
so we don't know if this other team is constantly looking over this site, right? Or looking over this section. Also, you've also said that they've corrected this, while you've also agreed as an axiom of this topic that they are always keeping track of whether or not the wing tribunal area is correct. They're always
I mean, you
you've
can,
agreed to that already.
what's your definition of always?
Like there would at least be one person every 24 hours looking at this.
Every 24 hours.
Someone all
I'm
hours of the
somewhat
day is at least.
skeptical of that.
Well, it's fine if you're skeptical of it. You've already agreed to this diameter that they're
Well, no, I
monitoring
didn't
it.
agree to your definition of always.
Better one.
I mean, how
If you
about
have
we
a disagreement
appeal
with it,
to a,
if
because
you have an
obviously you
issue,
don't mean like constantly, right?
demonstrate a better
Like when
one
you
to
say
the
always,
audience.
the audience of
At
one
least
person.
one person
Um,
of the day.
at all times.
With almost
Hold
8
on.
billion people on this world, it's bound to be one person, right? And this is one of the most popular pages on the website. So unless you could like substantiate that they actually list parameters somewhere else, or interpretation is better, I don't see why the audience.
Yeah, I would just take like my definition to mean like in this specific case, under like my internal semantics, just to mean like at some point from
Your
now.
internal semantic. Why are your semantics correct? Why would they be accurate?
They're accurate to my understanding of reality.
Well, that's fine if they're to your reality. Doesn't mean having your understanding is correct. Don't even propose that your understanding is accurate.
Okay, I never said that though.
Sure as the audience listens as well, they will notice that not really giving direct answers. Kind of instead going, um, taking really hard to think things, right? Like you're almost
I
but as we
guess.
were saying,
What's the problem with that? Is that like you don't like that? Is it hurting your
being
feelings? I'm sorry
why
if it
would
makes you, I'm sorry if it
interpretations be
makes you
correct or your interpretation of
impatient,
reality be correct if you are unsure of your own statements?
because I'm taking extra time to consider the other variables and come to a more
So
reasonable
because you're
conclusion.
taking time to understand variables, that means you're understands. That's intuitive, doesn't that?
That's, yeah, thinking means you're wrong, is essentially what you're saying. That's kind of retarded.
Nice straw man, but that's
That's
all.
not a straw man. Explain how it's a straw man
What I
then.
said, yeah. So what I said was, so I said, you're unsure of yourself. You're taking the time to think. And you afterwards say, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm in an agreement with what I said, and then you later said that you take it so that we're not sure of what you're saying. Stand and can give an answer. But
yeah. I
a
don't
better
think there's an
answer,
issue with like being skeptical of your own stances. I don't think that
saying
means you're
you're
necessarily
skeptical. I'm
wrong.
saying you're unsure, right? And being unsure
Well, that's like my
implies
justification.
you think your reasoning of
Is
reality
that I just have
is correct
skepticism towards like
100%.
every position.
Yeah, that unsure of reality, where you don't think your perception of reality is 100% correct.
Well, it's correct to me until the moment it changes, and then at that point, then the
Well,
new
well,
form,
well,
including that
skeptical of
change, is
everything.
correct.
You literally make a claim that you are skeptical of everything. Being skeptical of everything implies you are
Yeah,
skeptical to your perception of reality.
and then I would also be skeptical of my skepticism of everything, right?
Yeah,
I think that's
hence you are
fine.
unsure of reality.
I don't think there's like a
And if you
contradiction
are
there.
not, I'm not saying that what I'm saying, if you are unsure of your own perceptionality, your unsure perception would be inferior or have given.
Well, what's the
Right? I
justification
can
for
break
that?
this. I mean, we can use like a basic argument to deduce this, right? If you are unsure, then your perception is less valid. You are unsure, therefore
Why?
your perception
What's
is
the
valid.
justification for that?
As I've said, multiple justification that your perception dictates or is dictated by what you see, what everything goes on. And if you are unsure of what's going on, then do not believe in what you're saying. Then why would anyone else tends to believe what you're saying?
Well, I don't necessarily have to be like believing or not believing what I'm saying. I could be unsure if I believe it or not.
Then why other people believe what
But what's the justification for otherwise?
now you're
What
the
makes it so
goalpost.
that makes it like less listenable than like a typical stance, than
Why
the contrary
are
stance,
the
sorry.
burden of proof? You made the affirmative.
Oh, you think you have to prove affirmative? You have to prove positive claims.
Yes. A claim with no
No.
substantiation can be dismissed with no substantiation.
The thing is though, do you have any like evidence for the negative though?
My negative would generate any substantiation, so I would not either, right?
Yeah, the thing is,
Occam's razor.
I guess you don't know this. You don't need, okay, what's the Occam's razor? How does Occam's razor apply?
The simplest conclusion is most likely the correct conclusion, right? If you make a claim and do not provide evidence, it is simpler to dismiss it without providing evidence, right?
Right, so what's your justification for Occam's razor being a valid way of like reaching truths?
Yeah, I would just appeal to the authority.
Okay, why should we appeal to this authority?
Yeah, sure. So there's many people who have debated for years, right? If you've debated for years and you've become a professional or you have opinion knowledge on debating like this, such as lawyers, such as any godly dear debater, we can say that if they agree with this, more than likely it's true because they would have the knowledge to be able to substantiate this.
More than likely. I think that's just an appeal to possibility then.
How is that an appeal to possibility?
Because you're saying more than likely, it's not like a definitive truth.
Every single thing within reality is dependent on a more than likely case. We substantiate things are true because more than likely are true, right? We have more evidence, right? Can't objectively prove anything. Except like
Wait,
maybe contradiction can't exist and like things and logic.
that's interesting. Wait, so can we wait, so you said we can't objectively prove anything? Would that oh never mind.
Except
I was
like
gonna say would that
except
include
for
the
laws of
fact that you
logic
can't
and
objectively include everything?
repeat. Is that not a serious question?
Oh, did you hear it?
I'm asking you to repeat it, unless you don't think that was a serious question.
Okay. So I don't even remember what I asked. It was something about what you said right before, except for the laws of logic, or something, except for logical contradictions. What were you saying about that? Something about
So
inclusion.
you're not
Oh,
even tracking.
yeah, I'm not
Very
tracking.
interesting.
What's wrong with that? What's problematic with that?
I just want the audience to be clear of that. But put the memory
Okay,
into question.
that's fine. They can feel
Knowledge
however
into
way they want
question.
to feel. They're allowed to feel that
Okay.
way.
Okay.
I'm not gonna stop them. I'm gonna get inside their brains. I'm gonna say, no, no, you cannot think. You must listen to me.
Also, halting recently I've been posting
Hold
the
on.
epic debate in here on YouTube
What's
also.
happening? Be silent,
Yeah,
please. Debate
low
happening.
tier. Yeah, low tier. Don't interrupt the big dogs, okay? Um, so what was your point again?
Citation to what I said. Okay.
What did you
So
say so I can give a refutation?
yeah, I said that all things, except for the laws of logic and contradictions being impossible, cannot be objectively proven true. They all have a likely case.
Hmm. So those specifically, they have a most likely place. Yeah, just what's like the, can you give me like justification for that argument though? Like for that premise, sorry.
Yeah, which part?
The premise that like all things except for like logical contradictions and such uh are like not like objectively 100% true.
Yeah, so we cannot, or there is no strong evidence to prove that our perception of reality is percent accurate, such as we see it in delayed time to signals that come to our brain. Even brain even kind of fast forwards into the future. I don't know if you know this, but any studies showing that brain takes the information that's coming and guesses what it's going to see now. So everything you're seeing is a guess of the future and to entrust its accuracy. Also, many diseases that alter the way you see things, right? Like schizophrenia. Um, other top minds even have mental disorders that give them the ability to see and understand things easily. It's very clear to us that one, human perception cannot be false.
Well, I think in one case that's more
Two,
just like the interpretation of what information is already there.
interpretation of information isn't confirmable, we make are not 100% confirmable, except for the exclusions I've already listed. Future, I list in the universals. Go back to when I made these exceptions.
Yeah, then that's fine. I would just grant that like we can't take any of those deductions to be the case.
Yeah. So you're agreeing to the fact that like we can't confirm everything to be 100%, and we go on likely incidences.
I just don't think you like can affirm something if you can't like affirm it to be true 100%.
Okay. Can you want something to be true 100%? Like without a shadow?
Well, isn't your argument that you can't?
You're disagreeing with the position. You're stating you think that this can
I'm
be the
not
case.
disagreeing with the
Can
position.
you
You're not tracking.
substantiate that?
You're not tracking. I
How do you think
granted
I'm not tracking?
that not all truths are like definite, right? Or like 100%. I would just say then that any of those truths that aren't 100%, we just don't take them to be the case.
Okay. So then you don't think anything within reality is.
Well, you already explained how there's like exceptions to that rule.
Yes, the laws of logic and contradictions exist. Which is
Yeah.
kind of repeating myself.
Yeah, I'm agreeing to your
Then
framework.
yeah, you would think your perception of okay. I think your perception of hold on. How ridiculous that sounds. You're saying the way you see reality, the way you see everything, because you can't make a most likely case for it, it must be wrong.
Well, I'm not affirming that it's wrong. I'm just like I'm not affirming that we can like actually
What
entirely
you're
ascertain whether or
proven
not it's
without a
true.
shadow of but you're saying unless it can be proven without a shadow of a doubt, it's wrong.
No,
So then
I'm
you
saying
would
unless it
think
can be proven
anything you
without a
say
shadow
was
of a doubt,
wrong.
we should take the agnostic stance to it,
That is
to like
what you said at
the
all.
proposition of it existing. Okay, you can go back on
That
the rec,
is
but
just not what you
no,
said.
I just said we could just.
I mean,
I'm just rejecting taking
it's
it to
fine
be
if
the
you want to go
case.
back to the
Rejecting
recording.
it, taking
I
it to be the case,
want to
doesn't
point
mean that
out
I'm saying we
into the
take it not to be
recording.
the case. It means I'm like
I mean,
I'm just
if
taking
you think that,
agnostic
and if you
stance.
think that's what you were saying, again, I want to point out to the audience, you already agreed. You have issues tracking things. You already agreed to this. So, believe you're correct or my interpretation, which I haven't been sure. Yeah. But we can move on. We can.
Wait, what's
So,
correct? What does that mean? What does that word mean?
so under. Repeat that.
What does that word mean?
Which word?
Correct. What does that mean?
Am right, not wrong.
Can you like go more in
So,
depth on that?
do you have like English not your first language?
What's the
It
first
is. That's
language?
fine. So, my opponent's unable to
Oh, you
understand
grant
English.
all my arguments? I win? Thank you. That
That
was a good
is
debate.
never said. So you're disengaging your appeal to silence and concede.
What's a
That's fine.
disengagement? What's an appeal to?
Disengage
What's logically fallacious about that?
about appealing to your silence. No, all an appeal to silence
What's the problem?
you're no longer responding to the argument, so you could.
Yeah, what's the
You don't really
justification for that though?
justify it. You already stated you have issues with the English Jews.
What's the dictionary?
When proven even stronger, right? So actually do this
Yeah,
when
I could just be
you got
asking
a
for like
solid
your
head on you.
personal definition rather than like affirming that I don't understand the dictionary or what it is. I just want like a greater idea
I
of
was
what your
just
understanding of what the
to a
dictionary is.
colloquial definition. Once again,
Well, how do we like
have a head
arbitrate
on
what
your
is
right
colloquial?
now. Do you want to do this to another time?
Okay, you're not gonna attack the point? Okay.
Need to. It's incorrect.
Yeah. It's incorrect. A question is incorrect.
I'm glad I've agreed. Thank you.
It's not even a
So you want to
propositional
reschedule this?
statement. What?
Questions can be
There's like a
wrong.
debate.
Yeah,
There's like a delay
this
between you guys.
This non-propositional statement is incorrect.
Repeat that, Bungrider.
I was saying there's a delay between you guys.
Okay. Thank you. So what I'm saying, McLovin, one, you've already demonstrated not really here. You don't really understand the English language. You have tracking issues, you have memory issues, and you already agreed to most of my premises or premise. So you just want to wait until you actually understand what's happening around you and postpone this so you don't get the L, or do you want to keep going?
Okay, are you gonna attack the question or no?
I
Are you
already
gonna
said
answer
it's
the question
incorrect.
or no? It is a non-propositional statement. You understand? You know what that is?
I already said question be wrong, and you said yeah.
I never agreed to that. What? The insane gaslight. The second time you tried to gaslight
I mean,
me into saying I granted
I want
something
to
I never
say
said.
once again, you have memory issues, so obviously you wouldn't remember such things.
Yeah, I never granted that.
I mean, you can say that, but once it's on recording, you think you have memory issues and you have tracking issues. So, do you just want to appear recording here, or do you want to concede?
Why should we take the recording to be valid though?
Because recording is an unbiased third party. Are you trying to be disingenuous here?
What? It has like a consciousness of some sorts.
I said unbiased, like it does not have bias in the matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, non-sentient things would have zero biases because they don't have emotions to manipulate them. Nor
I
can
mean,
they
yeah,
think.
but like, how can we like? I don't think that's like a sufficient like rebuttal.
Well, I'm glad
Well,
you don't
you're
think that, but
appealing to
that's
something
not
that's non-sentient. Can you
not
give like an explanation for that? Can you give further explanation for that? How you're appealing to something that's non-sentient as like a higher authority above your own words?
I don't think that's necessary to respond to that. Does that pertain to
Why
the
so?
okay.
Why so?
Yeah,
What?
because I'm not
Because you just
appealing
don't want
to
to respond
you.
to that
I'm
argument.
appealing to the
That's
audience.
fine. That's an easy concession.
That's not at all what I said. I said we're not appealing to the audience, right? And the audience
I am the audience,
understand
though.
what's
I'm
happening within
listening
the
to you debate.
recordings.
I'm listening to me debate. I might be watching the recording. Who knows? So by appealing to the
So do
audience,
you think that, that's
you
a
are
proper response?
partially appealing to me.
Okay. Do you seriously think that's
Well, I don't know your definition of what a proper response is. So how would I know that?
That's not what I asked you. Consider what I asked you. Your head and think, what
Okay,
the question
to
Haltingsphinx
know
asked?
if something
He asked
qualifies as a
whether or
proper
not
response,
that is a
I need to know the
proper
criteria
response.
for what a proper response is.
You don't have a personal criteria? You can't like independently think?
No, I'm asking for your criteria because you're using that terminology.
Why do you need my criteria? We're asking if you can make an
Because
independent
you're the
thought.
one.
Am I
Okay,
your
what is the
omniscient
relevance of
god or
this
something?
exactly?
That's a great question. Why have you derailed?
I'm derailing.
Once again, you have tracking
derailing.
issues, so you can't even follow the
This guy is absurd.
Okay, so we can return to the main topic. Why do you think VS
Yeah, you can say that.
is
Thanks for the
incorrect?
concession. Okay, what were we on?
There was no
I
concession
never
given.
affirmed that they're incorrect. I never affirmed they're incorrect.
Okay, so I just want the audience to notice on how he tries to type something in, and then when I feel that's incorrect, he moves
Back to
on.
agnosticism.
So, do you think VSBW is incorrect?
I never affirmed that VSBW is incorrect.
Okay, so then you
Another
agree.
tracking
Thank
issue
you.
from Halting. No, I
Notice
just
on how you're stealing
think
my
like
tag,
they're.
but that's
If we
fine.
take like the proposition that like VSBW is always correct, I would just take like the agnostic to that.
That is not at all what I claimed.
No, I'm describing my stance. I'm not describing your like straw man of my stance.
Okay, you wanted to ramble the audience, but one thing I am stating what
Okay, I guess like
you
engaging in the
have to
dialectics is
believe
rambling.
that Godhead or the one above all is incorrect, or their position for the one above all is incorrect. All you have said is you might have taken an agnostic stance on that. Isn't what you've taken at all.
Again, I don't
Because
see why I would need to like affirm one like side of the proposition, whether it be like the affirmation or the negation, when I've already stated I'm not like affirming or negating it because I'm taking an agnostic stance.
once again,
Again,
notice
tracking
on how
issue
I
number 5.
preemptively guessed what you were going to say. I literally said, even though you think you didn't make one, very funny there, how I can preemptively guess what you're going to say. But once again, you've taken the negation
Yeah,
to this. You have said,
you
why
think that
is
means you win?
that?
Yeah, I don't think asking for like justification for why like one interpretation would be more valid than another, be it the positive or the negative, means that like I am affirming or denying the contrary to either.
Do you not think when you question evidence, you are taking the negative?
I don't actually.
Okay. If there is no negative stance against my stance would be true, right?
No, I'm
That
just taking
presents
the
evidence.
agnostic. Do you not know what an agnostic
we
stance
say
is?
the
This guy
argument.
retarded.
You can wait. I'm finished. We take arguments. We
Okay.
make them.
Well, if you can't
And then
track,
people offer
you can't
refutations. If that refutation is
help
truly
but straw
incorrect,
man me,
and that
then
there is nothing
this is
denying
going to be an
this
auto
argument,
concession,
therefore it must be true. Now, what would be your response to that? A straw man,
which is
if
the
you do
case,
it as
by
such,
the way.
straw man not indicate a consent inherently. You would have to justify that.
Again, I'm like agnostic to like things needing justification.
Hey, that is a refutation. And what's a
Well,
refutation? Like I've
I don't know why I need to give a
reestablished,
refutation.
I've provided an argument as to why. So do you want to respond to argument?
Why
Or you
should I
want to
appeal to
move
like
on?
an argument though?
The audience can obviously hear how
Why
ridiculous
should I
the
like appeal
question
to an
was.
argument though as like something to be the case?
Once again, that is a ridiculous question. Do you really think there's any ground?
Define ridiculous.
Substance.
Not a
responding to
what
reality.
is substance? Wait, what's your like definition of
Arguments where
reality? What's your
substance
understanding of reality?
Okay, I'll be there. That's fine. So
Okay,
one,
what's wrong with that?
answering what substance is isn't necessary, right? All my definitions you can just they're the Google definition.
Why would we appeal to
So there you
Google?
go. Can you offer something better?
I don't think you need to offer something better.
Well, if you can't offer different, then would we assume anything different?
What, that like anything
Consider
different
that.
exists? You just want me to prove
That
that
is
like
not what I
other
said.
things exist, not even that they're correct?
That is
Because
not at all
that's
what I said.
fine, I can do that.
Go for it. Yeah. That's just not what I said at all.
Go forth upon what?
Like, go continue talking, responding to what I said, but
Go
you can
forth
go on.
upon
I'm
these
sure that I
nuts.
would love to hear it.
Hey.
Okay.
That was
Want to move to
rhetorical.
conclusions?
That was hella rhetorical, chat. Oh yeah, we can
Okay.
conclude.
So I'm gonna. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead, conclude.
Oh no, you brought up the point of concluding, so I think you should conclude first.
Yeah, I've been happy to. So within this entire discussion or debate, McLovin has been unable to justify why the VW steering system is incorrect or why their position living tribunal is incorrect. Furthermore, brought up his tracking issues, his memory issues. In the middle of that, and asked him to offer another dictionary. Unable to. Okay. Point.
Okay, so he just kept like appealing to these things and then not giving justification for why we should like appeal to these things. And I just think that was like very strange and like contradictory. Well, not necessarily contradictory, but it just didn't follow under his own framework. So yeah, I guess it would be a contradiction, just like his own stances upon like how we should arrive at truths. And that's what I think I want.
McLovin, I don't want to interrupt or like comment on your conclusion much, but how are you going to agree that there's an axiom of contradictions can exist and then state there's a contradiction? Something's contrary to another thing.
But I think someone can act in a way that's contrary to the way they perhaps say they should act or appeal to. I don't mean there's like a literal actualized contradiction. I mean there would be a contradiction if we take all of these things that you say to be the case to actually be the case. Which, and if there is a contradiction, that means something is obviously not the case.
Okay, so once again, you want to specify for the audience that you just think my two statements are meeting each other, correct?
When did I say that?
Well, you think that they can't both be true, then would you not say you are conflating, or that they conflate each other? Like they
I
can't
never
both be
said
true?
that. No,
Okay,
I
then
don't
what
agree
are
to that.
you saying?
Yeah, whatever you well, I'm curious as to like what the relevance of this is if we've already concluded.
Like I said, your statement is vague and would go against an axiom we have proposed. I want you to be able to properly explain that, unless you want your contradictory statement to exist.
Okay, so if you can't track what I said, that's a you issue.
Okay, so then that's not a defense.
So if you can actually
Okay.
like make an actual
So
statement and push the point, that'd be great. But I don't think you're
I
capable
already
of doing
did,
that.
but
So
I already did. And like I said, I don't want to stay on your conclusions too long.
he's low
So,
tiering out.
do you agree, Scan, stating that Captain America scales to the that would mean they scale to each other.
What? I take that to be the case.
Why would you take that to be the case?
No, I said what? What'd you say?
If there was a scan, Captain America, Living Tribunal, get to each other, they are equal, or that they scale to
I'm sorry, could you
be
repeat
in the
that?
same tier.
I didn't hear you fully clearly,
If there is a
that
scan
first part.
that states the Living Tribunal, Captain America scale to each other, then they be in the same tier. Simplified, explained version.
Yeah, all I heard was like if there and then something's on the same tier. I didn't hear anything else. Can you just repeat that one more time for clarity?
Yeah, I can just type it out for you. It'll be in scan.
Yeah, why are you doing this? I got a question. If you don't mind.
I already sent it. Ask me afterwards, or just type it out.
A scam? So,
Oh, I can't even type.
who's Captain America?
The character we are discussing.
Captain American. Who's that?
My apologies, I meant Captain America. Autocorrect corrected me. So do you have an issue with it?
Wait, so you're already agreeing that like some things in what you've typed out or have already been like false and you've had to like redact them? So like why should I take what you said to be the case?
Just asking if you agree with it. Do you agnostic to it?
Did I ever say that?
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I'd say I'm like agnostic to the proposition of me being agnostic to it.
It's not relevant.
That I'd say that is somewhat relevant. Because you're asking
Well, I'm
if I'm
glad you
agnostic to
think
it.
so. Doesn't mean that's
You're giving
correct.
me a propositional statement. You're saying the proposition of, oh, do you take this to be the case? Do you not disagree with this being the case? Or are you agnostic on it? I spoke on
Weren't
the
you the
proposition of
guy
me being
that
agnostic on it
that
and
said
said,
actions
I'm
can't be
agnostic to that
propositional?
proposition. Yeah, what's
Weren't you
the
the same guy
relevance
that
of
said
that?
that?
Well, there's an implication in
Okay.
this case.
I mean, your position is fine. I'm just being humorous, but with this, that you would obviously need to say what the issue is. If you don't think that there's an issue, you think this is correct, or it's stating that there is a
Well,
state
Well, I never said
the
there's an
living tribe
issue,
would be
but that doesn't
Captain
mean I'm going to
America.
like
Let me
affirm it.
If you agree with it, then that means that the scans state Captain America and the living tribe are equal or are relative, them all in the same tier. Hence, in America, and if you are just agnostic to it, my reasoning to convince you, or argument to convince you, is that, or when characters are on tier, that means that could fight. The word relative just means that they are able to fight each other. Hence, the state indicating that Captain America and the Living Tribunal are relative would indicate Captain America is an A or high.
Wait, you're saying 1A is
You
high
may go.
Outerversal? Just to be clear. Is that what you're saying?
I would say by the definitions, yeah.
By the VSBW definitions, 1A is high Outerversal.
This context, yes.
That's what you're saying?
In this context, yes.
In this context? Can you elaborate on what you mean by
Yeah.
that?
Have for them aren't the same names we'd be referring in the server.
Oh, so it's just like some internal semantics?
Naming convention would be incorrect, but what they list out as 1A would be, yeah.
Wait, so you're already like you're already affirming the negation of your own proposition
That
that
is
versus
not
battles
at
is
all
like
what is happening.
correct? That's embarrassing.
I'm saying that their naming scheme is incorrect, but their definition for them
Yeah, they can just do things
would
incorrectly.
align with what we define as high outer. For instance, if I say go
Why
to
should we even
so
appeal to what like
here,
you specifically define as high outer?
and then I specifically is characters who can destroy a city.
Okay.
If I were to say, yeah, the blob tier name is incorrect, but just straight up lists city level, so they must be. That would be text.
Yeah, but like what's your definition? Is my question.
The same one listed by character stats and profiles. The one server uses as an axiom.
Wait, so you think VSBW's 1A is character stats and profiles high 1A?
It is high outer, yes.
When did we agree to using CSAP?
It's an axiom in the server.
I don't, is it?
Like
We can
presupposed.
peep that. Yeah, I don't see that anywhere in the rules, but
Yeah, let me
if you
grab
can
it.
give actual justification, that'd be great. Yeah, no, something that's actually like already in the rules channel, please. And not some screenshot of some rule that no longer exists. Yo, what do you think about water pants?
Do you have a response to what I've said?
Where did you post? Let me see. Yeah, can
Obviously in
you give like
scans.
further context as to what this is from? Because this could just be like from like a DM or something. Yeah, can you just tell me what like channel this is in?
Yeah, it's master rules.
Yeah, that's specifically for Master Rules debates.
Why would we assume that master rule debates would be in?
Because this is in the Master Rules channel.
Do you not think that this is a master rule?
You already agreed beforehand that it wasn't.
I wouldn't be for such, but that I would take the role, seeing as I would prefer someone who has deeper knowledge on the verse of it, but it would apply to the same rules. And any refutation against you just not thinking that's the case would just be one memory is bad, and we've already agreed on that.
I didn't agree to that, by the way.
I mean, it's in the recording. Doesn't matter. But
You can pretend it
what would
is.
be?
That's
Well,
like,
how would you argue against that?
how would I argue against that?
That's not a refutation, but yeah.
Yeah, I just think no, I'm just repeating what you said for clarification. Okay?
Yeah.
Just to
And
make
you
sure.
defend yourself
Because
against
if I
it.
because if I say, you know, if I repeat what you said and I maybe misrepresent your argument in some way, I do some kind of a straw man, right? You can call out and say, no, that's not what I said, right? So if anything, I'm giving you a courtesy. So anyways, as to what you're saying about the Master Rules channel, you said you're not like taking the role, so I just wouldn't take that to be like a Master Rule debate then.
I mean, we've already appealed to once again. You have awful memory, so we don't need to respond to this.
Again, I never agreed to that, but you can pretend that I did.
Well, that's fine if you don't think you agreed to, but I'm recording.
Okay, again, you've just been saying this like 5 times, so
Yes, obviously, I'm going to affirm
I'm
reality.
just lying. Affirming gaslighting. You're affirming gaslighting.
So, what is your response? What is your argument?
I already gave an argument. Now, if you can't track, that's a skill issue.
I do not think that an argument has been presented by that is of substance that needs to be responded to.
Yeah, why should like I appeal to your standard of what should be of substance or should be responded to? And why should it like
I don't care
triumph
if
any
or
other standard?
not you do, but the audience should, because I do not have memory issues. I do not have tracking issues.
Yeah,
Unlike
I never
you,
said
who
I
have
had any of those
agreed to.
things. I never agreed to those things.
Obviously, the person who has memory issues
You keep telling
wouldn't
yourself
be
that.
because of this. I will be telling them.
And perhaps they
So,
would.
what is your
but-
response? If you think you have already made a response, do you just want to move to conclusions?
Wait, so
on
how
the
would you know that
whole
you're not
debate?
conscious of that?
I do not need to respond to that. That
You
is not a
don't?
relevant
Okay.
point.
If
If
you're
you
just
do
not going
not
to
have
engage in the
anything else to
dialectic, that's just going
add,
to be a concession then. That's fine.
I've offered 0 concessions. Do you want to make an argument, or do you want to move to conclusions?
I already gave
Seeing as you
sufficient
feel,
argumentation if you're just going to like be ignorant.
if you feel you've already offered a proper
I think that's
argument,
just a
then
concession
we can
on your
move to
point, but you can
conclusions.
like appeal to some
There
judgment.
would be no concessions. Do you want to move to conclusions?
Sure, you go ahead.
Okay.
Though I'm not granting that there can be no
Yes,
concessions,
not.
because I think that you already did.
Well, you don't have to grant it. The audience would. It would be up to the audience to decide if not. And seeing as I have not provided any, it would not be granted to you. So moving to conclusions, like
I
you
don't think we gave
agreed,
any like justification behind why the contrary should be the case, but whatever.
the audience should disregard that, and it should be redacted as it does not
Why
hold
should they?
relevance.
Why should they?
We agreed to move to conclusions.
What's the justification for that? Okay,
You've
but then you
already
keep trying to shovel in
moved
little
to
points. So
conclusions.
what's the point of me
I
Okay,
am
but then you're
not
trying to
shoveling
shove
in
in
any
things
points. I am
before
saying
conclusions.
I am
Okay,
not. I'm trying. And I'm saying what you are saying is irrelevant and should not,
it's a
because you are
bad
making points
faith
after we've already agreed
interlocutor
to move.
audience. Don't be like this, man. Don't be bad faith like this, man. Okay,
Does not
you can give
hold
your
all
conclusion now.
understanding, but let's conclude. Okay, wonderful. So through the entire debate, he's obviously unable to even think properly. His entire argument is falling upon what is your definition for such? Why should such be the case? And whenever I provide evidence as to reasoning or show scans as why, he just doesn't think that substantiates my point. Now, whether or not that is correct is not of his ability to demonstrate, seeing he has no memory or tract. When we went over, or if not, the living tribunal fails to Captain America, he did not provide a refutation that substantiated was wrong. He instead said everything else he was doing was wrong and arguing in bad faith. You may go for it.
Okay, first of all, that argument in bad faith thing was not a well. Speaking about you being bad faith, that wasn't like an actual argument. But anyways, yeah, you just keep appealing to like these imaginary things that I never granted. The idea of like me having faulty memory, you didn't contest the idea that you had faulty memory either, so that would just be like equal interpretation in this case. And I don't think you contended any of my other points correctly. You would just say they're not relevant and then never give justification for why they're not relevant. So, yeah.
Okay, I can turn the rec. Turn down the buff. They can turn it off. Yo, McLovin,